Here's how to build the perfect combination of trading hall and iron farm that will give you more than 300 iron ingots per hour and perfect discounts for all the villager trades that you want to do. In addition to that, it is more than aesthetic to have that in your survival world, and let's dive straight into it. In order to build this entire thing, we're gonna start by laying out the general shape of the structure. To do this, you want to start by creating a 3-block pillar. Now I do this with logs, but you can do this with any block that you want to. Then continue and place a 3-block pillar every other block and do this until you got 6 pillars set up, so these are 5 and 6. Now what we're gonna do is to come over 1 block diagonally and we're gonna do the same thing into this direction, so 2, 5 and 6. Now, in this line we're gonna add 1 more column, so we got 7 in total, then come over 1 block diagonally again and finish everything off to a rectangle. At this point everything should be looking something like this, so counting the pillars we got a 6 by 7 rectangle. Now, the next thing that we wanna do is to create a crossbar all around the entire thing. And that way we're gonna have some 2-block entrances that look like this, and you wanna do this all the way around the entire rectangle. Now at the front side, which should be one of the 2 longer sides, you can remove the 2 blocks in the middle, maybe replace this log like that. So you got a 3-block entrance to the iron farm itself, and we won't have any villagers in this position. The next thing that you wanna do is to come to the first 2-block gap, and there what you wanna do is to dig out a 2 by 3 hole like this, which should be centered underneath the crossbar and inside of the rectangle. So in this position you want to place a piston, then 2 redstone dust in front, also 2 subtle blocks above the redstone dust, and then a lever in this position. Now you flick it and the piston should extend. By the way, you can choose whatever subtle block that you want. I take stone bricks and I think it fits nicely with the logs, and later I'll show you how to make this even more aesthetic. So now that we got the first one of these redstone constructions set up, we want to do this for all the other 2-block gaps. So start by digging the hole, then you want to place the piston at the end of the hole, 2 redstone dust in front, 2 solid blocks of your choice, a lever, and flick it, and do this for all the remaining 18 other gaps. Just by the way, I said 18 remaining gaps, meaning that we got a total of 20 gaps. If this isn't the case for you, you messed up the construction of the general layout. And by the way, this is because we're gonna have 20 villagers later for good iron farm rates, and per gap we're gonna fit in 1 villager. Now as you can see right here, I'm finished with all the 20 redstone cells, and the next thing that you're gonna do is to take some more solid blocks, and you wanna place 3 blocks in between of all the pistons, and you wanna do this all the way around. Of course, you will have to do this at the inside of the entire thing as well. Now, hope that makes sense for you. Everything should be looking like this, and as with the outside wooden frame that I've already built, you want to place a crossbar all the way around the entire construction. So basically just mirror what you built for the outside layer, and everything should now be looking something like this. The next thing that we're gonna do is to get to this position and dig down by 2 blocks. Now you wanna dig a trench all the way around the entire construction, and make sure to dig directly at the side of the pistons, looking like this. Now later this trench will function as a minecart railway system for a zombie, so that you can choose any of these 20 villagers to be zombified and healed for perfect discounts. Now in order to set up this railway system, what we're gonna do is to come to this side, and there you wanna place a powered rail, and we're gonna power that by placing a lever right next to it and flicking it, and as you can see it lights up. Then we're gonna continue with some regular rails all the way to the middle of the opposite side, so something like this right here. And there you're gonna place another powered rail and repeat the same thing, so break the block next to it, replace it with a lever, and then you wanna flick it to power it. Then continue with regular rails again, and we do this until the end of the trench, and here we're gonna place another powered rail. But this time what you wanna do is to break the block next to it, replace it with redstone dust, and we're gonna place a lever in this position. What this lever will do later is very simple. You can use this one to activate and deactivate the railway system from above. so the zombie doesn't roll around the entire time. Now it's nighttime, and this is because we now need to get a zombie into this entire system, which probably is already the hardest step for the entire building process, but it can be very easy if you follow my steps. Simply lure a zombie into the construction, hold your minecart, drop into the trench, and place the minecart in front of the zombie. Make sure not to be hit, and as you can see, we are at the safe distance. Now simply push the minecart into one direction and just make yourself a way out. And as it should be, the zombie should end up in this position right here, right underneath of the lever. Now very important, before you can skip to daytime again, you need to do 2 steps. First of all, take out an anvil and a name tag, rename the name tag to anything. I take Zomb as always, and then we're gonna take that name tag and apply it to our little zombie. Then the zombie won't despawn any longer. And the next thing that we have to do before we can skip to daytime is to place a layer of glass above the entire trench. I take glass because it looks nice, and also you can see what is going on in the entire thing, and especially when you zombify a villager, this is a nice thing to have. Then on top of the first layer of glass or any other block, we're gonna apply 2 more layers of any kind of block that you want to. First one done, and continue with the second layer. Now you're basically done with this step, but if you want to and use logs outside, you can do the same thing for pillars. In this position, you will need to drop 1 block down in order to place this log right here. Now this will be looking like this, and in my opinion is more logic than the other way around. But anyways, now let's skip to daytime. Now the first part of the farm is finished, and we can continue with the iron part farm of the video. And in order to start this, what we're gonna do is to come to the entrance, and then you wanna count down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and on the third one, you wanna place a chest. This should be in this exact position right here. Then take out some hoppers, place 3 hoppers behind the chest, all funneling into the chest, and then you wanna place 3 hoppers on this side and repeat the same thing at the other side, giving you a 3x3 platform out of hoppers. Now if you think that 1 chest isn't enough, you can also add another chest. You can also use 2 chests and a trap chest in the middle for symmetry, but then you want to make sure that the hoppers funnel into their respective chests. Then in order to kill all the iron golems that are produced in the farm automatically, we're gonna take 9 campfires and place 1 on top of every single of the hoppers. In order to continue the building process for the iron farm, we're gonna take some upper slabs and just finish off the entire roof. Now this should be looking exactly like this, and you wanna leave out a 3x3 space above the killing chamber for the iron golems to fall through. Now why do we take upper slabs? Very simple, because now instead of 2 blocks, you have 2.5 blocks where you can stand, and I think this is a more convenient room height. Now that we got a complete roof set up, we can add some water streams so all the iron golems that spawn up here will be funneled into the killing chamber automatically. To start this one, what you want to do is to place 3 blocks in any corner and 2 slabs on top. Then you want to add some more slabs all the way to the next corner and repeat the same thing again. You want to place the 3 blocks with the 2 slabs on top. Let's do this another time. So slabs till the next corner. You want to place 3 solid blocks and then slabs on top. And also do this at the 4th and final corner. 3 blocks, 2 slabs, and then finish it off with some more slabs. And this will give you this result. Before we can place in the water itself, we're gonna add some waterproofing system for the killing chamber, because fire and water isn't something to mix. In order to do this, what you're gonna do is to place a solid block in one of the corners and basically place a fence gate on top. Then you wanna place a fence gate next to it and simply place 1 fence gate above every single of the campfires. Well, you wouldn't need one in the middle, so 8 fence gates looking like this, and then open all of them so all the smoke can pass through, and also remove the temporary block. Now that we got that, for your convenience, I'd recommend having an infinite source of water nearby by using 2 water buckets. This is just so you don't have to craft more buckets than necessary. With all this water, what we're gonna do is first of all to place 1 water source on all of the corner blocks, so in all these 4 positions. And then you want to get to one of the corners, you want to skip the block next to it. This is very important, otherwise the entire roof will be flooded with water source blocks. And starting from the second block, you want to place water source blocks, and again you want to leave out this block right here next to the solid block. Do the same thing at the other side, and now make sure that you don't waterlog the slabs, otherwise you will get a mess, so you will have to remove the slabs again and replace it with solid blocks. And just repeat this for all 4 sides, and every time you want to make sure to leave out the blocks next to the solid block right here in the corner. Another thing to notice is that whenever you try to place water on top of a slab, it will waterlog the slab, so don't do this, replace the slabs with solid blocks first and then continue. And as you can see right here, these are the water streams set up. Now the next thing will be to add 21 villagers to the roof. And in order to do this, you want to go up by 3 blocks, outgoing from this fence gate right here, and then you want to remove these 2 ones. Now what we're going to do is to simply place 9 blocks above the entire killing chamber, and you just want to go 3 blocks into this direction right here as well, looking like this. Then simply go out by 2 blocks to both sides, so do this at the other side as well, 2 blocks out, and this will give you a 7 by 6 platform for 21 beds. And now let's count down, so these are the first 7, now this will make it 14, and with the final row we will be at 21 beds, and again for 21 villagers. I've got a very good villager breeder tutorial on my channel, the link to it will be in the description. I'd highly recommend using that tutorial to get all the 21 villagers into this farm. Now of course we only have 20 cells for the 20 trading hall villagers, but the beds are so high above that we're gonna need 1 more villager so that the beds are seen by the entire village. And this guy will be standing right above the entrance of the farm. So you want to place a block of leaves in this position, go up by 2 temporary, place 2 blocks of leaves in these locations, in these, and also right here, and 1 block of leaves on top. Why we use leaves is very simple. Iron golems can spawn on leaves and you don't want to have iron golems on top of these blocks. Now we're gonna break these 2 blocks right here, and then we're gonna create a temporary staircase all the way up to the villager position, so that way we can easily get 1 villager into its position by using rails and a minecart. So if you have 1 villager nearby, you simply want to push the villager into the minecart and the minecart all the way up the railway track. Then you just have to remove all the rails and all the holder blocks, and then you can break the minecart right here, place a temporary block in this position, and then a working station of your choice right here. I take a composter, but you can also take fletching tables or lecterns or whatever you wanna do. Then the villager should connect to the working station and also to the bed, which you can see with the green particles that appeared before. Once everything of that is the case, you can take your 20 remaining villagers and get 1 into each cell. And right here it is very important to follow the following process. So what you want to do is to have the villager in the minecart on the railway track and then push the villager into the cell. Next up, you want to place the working station of your choice in front of the villager, and then you want to break the minecart. Make sure not to hit the villager as I did. And now, as you can see, the green particles appeared, so that way you're sure that the villager is connected to the working station in front. And only once this is the case, so the villager is perfectly connected, you can take the second villager into a 100 block radius of this farm. And of course, get him into the cell, place the working station of your choice in front of him, and then remove the minecart. Of course, make sure not to kill the villager in this process. Why we do this way is very simple, otherwise you will have a mess out of working stations and villagers that are not connected to the working stations in front of them, but to any random one, and you simply don't want to have this. As soon as you got your 20 villagers in place, iron golems will start spawning and the farm will start working. At least the iron farm part of the construction. Before I show you how to zombify and heal the villagers to get the best traits, I want to say that you can make this even more nice looking by placing some leaves in the corners and also take some blocks off your block palette and loosen up the floor in front of it. And of course, you can also choose your own design to make this more fitting into your survival world. Now let's come to how to get the best trades possible using zombifying and healing discounts. First of all, let's look into this villager, and as you can see, it trades a Riptide to Enchanted Book, and you probably don't want this book. And in order to change that, what you can do is to simply remove the working station in front of it and instantly replace it with another one of its kind, and then the villager should have new trades. This time it's Thorns 3. Let's repeat this one more time. So once you've found that you want to keep the trades for the villager, what you want to do is to trade with the villager at least once, so all the trades are locked. Then you can start with the zombifying process. And in order to do this, you want to check that your game runs on difficulty hard. This is very important because on normal mode, the percentage that a villager is killed by the zombie instead of being zombified is at 50%, and only on hard mode the villager won't die but will be zombified every time. So now that we are sure that the villager will live, what you want to do is to flick the lever in front of him, so the villager drops down by 1 block, and then activate the zombie using this lever. Now of course the zombie has to travel around the entire trench every time, so that way it will take some time until your villager is finally zombified. And by the way, there will be cats spawning in this tunnel and you will need to remove them, otherwise your zombie will get stuck in the trench. Once all the villagers that you wanted are zombified, you can flick the lever again and then the system will be off. Now by the way, if a villager that you want to zombify isn't hit by the zombie, although the zombie passes by, you have to push him a little bit by hitting it, and then it will be in range for the zombie to be hit. But now coming back to the villager that we wanted to heal in the first place, what you want to do is to flick the lever right here, and then you want to throw a bottle of weakness on top of that guy, and then you want to give him a golden apple, so he shakes and the healing process begins. If you want to speed this up a little bit, you just have to save and quit the game and then go back into your world. And now as you will see, the zombie villager will be healed instantly, as you can see right here. And now it will have good trades like this 18 paper for an emerald, and perfect trades like this 1 emerald and 1 book for the looting 1 enchanted book. Now a portion of that discount will also apply to all the other villagers. As you can see, we got a discount of 1 emerald right here, but for perfect trades you will have to zombify and heal the villager as well. Now lastly, while explaining, all the iron golems were killed in the killing station, and as you can see, you can simply access the loot in these chests right here, and there's a good amount that already has been building up the entire time. And for the time that you stay within a 64 block radius to the farm, you can calculate with 300 iron ingots per hour. Now this is about everything that can be said to trading halls and iron farms, and I hope that you liked the video and it helped you for your survival world. I highly recommend having one of these in your survival world because these are so convenient to use. I mean, they're just essential, what else can I say? So at this point, I hope you liked the video, and then we'll see us again in the next video. See ya!